Right. Our coverage continues on the biggest story of the day, a ban on PFI. Akanksha, Pradeep Datta also joining us on the broadcast. Akanksha, what's happening there? The PFI office, remember, after the massive raids that have been taken up by the National Investigation Agency, we also had not just incriminating evidence being picked up from several of the offices, but the main offices also being sealed completely.
Well, absolutely, crackdown on PFI has intensified. I'm in fact outside the office of PFI, where last week we saw multiple raids by NIA and ED, and in fact various PFI leaders as well as their members were arrested, and that's when the angle of terror funding as well as terror threat had emerged. Now, this is the office of PFI, which has the organization which has now been banned for the next 5 years. The charges against them are quite serious. The government notification mentions that PFI is a major threat to the internal security. They have linkages with ISIS, and this in fact is the office of ISIS. There was a hoarding of PFI here, but now it has been removed from here. Just a few weeks ago it was removed from this building, but today the major news is that PFI has been banned for the next 5 years. They have linkages with ISIS, JMBs is what the government has stated in the notification. They have said that they were trying to support militancy in the country. Now, this happened after inputs were received from National Investigation Agency and Enforcement Directorate, which last week had conducted raids here at the office of PFI as well. And yesterday also we saw a massive crackdown by the state police at various states all across the country. So definitely this is a big step and big charges against the Popular Front of India as far as terror funding as well as terror plot is concerned. NIA has in total registered as many as 19 cases.
Absolutely, because we're looking in 2 rounds of the mega raids that happened there on the 22nd of September and the 27th of this month as well. Mr. Hegde is with us on the phone line. Sir, good morning to you. We're waking up to the news of PFI being banned for 5 years, especially when we are looking at the PFI and its alleged involvement in the hijab case that is currently being heard in the top court, sir.
Well, that's not the reason, or at least that's not the stated reason in the notification. Okay, the point is that the organization has been banned under the UAPA. That has certain consequences. The ban will have to be tested before a tribunal appointed under the UAPA. A High Court judge will go into it, whether the ban is right, wrong, etc. It will have consequences as far as the members of the organization are concerned, and also for its use of the funds of the organization. The government has preceded the ban by several raids, income tax, etc., which no doubt have identified what funds the organization has and all that. It is pertinent to state that there have been bans earlier also of certain organizations. In fact, if I remember right, after the demolition of the Babri Masjid, both the Jamaat-e-Islami as well as the RSS got banned. The Jamaat-e-Islami ban was set aside by a tribunal. The RSS ban later was withdrawn. This is not unusual in the life of some organizations which have a political bent.
Now, Mr. Hegde, this is Pranesh, sir. Good morning. If I could ask you one question, sir. Did you see this coming?
Well, I am not an expert on government policy. I did anticipate it would come because many people, each time all these allegations were made, have asked the government if you have all this material against this particular organization, why don't you go ahead and ban it? You have the powers to do so. At that point of time, I remember some pro-government spokesperson saying that, no, banning an organization doesn't make sense because it reincarnates in some other name or the other. But now the government has decided on this course of action, and we shall see where it goes from there.
And I'm sure, sir, as a lawyer, you would agree that the government must have had, like you said also in your opening remark, the ban was preceded by several other things, crackdown on the PFI, also money laundering aspect of it. I'm sure the government has a watertight case because this will now go to a tribunal.
It's only then, no, that you know whether you have a watertight case or no. So I don't want any adjectives. There would be material. The material will be tested by a tribunal. And we will see whether it sustains at the tribunal stage or thereafter in appeal.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hegde, for speaking to Times. Now, Pratibha and Amita, now give me just 2 minutes. Let me run you through the rest of the gazette that we have. Let me read this again. The PFI, its associates or affiliates of fronts have been indulging in unlawful activities which are prejudicial to the integrity, sovereignty, security of the country, have the potential of disturbing public peace, communal harmony of the country and supporting militancy in the country. Some of the PFI's founding members are the leaders of the Student Islamic Movement of India, of SIMI, all very well known, and PFI has linkages with the Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh, the JMB, both of which are proscribed organizations. There had been a number of instances of international linkages of PFI with global terror groups like the Islamic State of Syria and Iraq. We are talking about the ISIS no less. The PFI and associates or affiliates of fronts have been working covertly to increase the radicalization of one community by promoting a sense of insecurity in the country, which is substantiated by the fact that some PFI cadres have joined international terror organizations. Now, Amita, Pratibha, the commentary so far from the opposition parties has been that, look, who are we to condemn the activities of the PFI? If the government has a case against PFI, government should go ahead, extend the crackdown and put a stamp of ban. Now that the center has done it, the ecosystem stands on test. Will they welcome it? Will they support it?
That's right, because the charges against the PFI are extremely grave. Anti-national activities, terror funding. Several of the PFI members also said to have links with Al-Qaeda as well as ISIS. That's what the NIA has told the court. The ATS as well saying the same. Mohit Bhatt is also joining us on the broadcast. Mohit, Times Now has been relentless in its pursuit of the PFI link in several of the cases. Down south, if it was the hijab protests, the political murders in Kerala, in the national capital as well, the PFI's involvement has come to light in the riots. Similarly, in Rajasthan as well. So through the country, in several of the incidents that have been reported, the PFI link has been exposed.
Well, yes, and there has been a demand for a long time from several state governments that the PFI should be banned. And the onus was now on the central government that why exactly the central government is not banning PFI if they have so much of evidence against them. Because there have been links of PFI with the anti-CA riots that happened in Northeast Delhi. There have been the links of PFI that have emerged during the riots in Lucknow during the time of the anti-CA protest. And we also know for a fact, if you see the gazette that has been issued by the government of India, it also talks about the murder of the RSS and BJP workers in the state of Karnataka and Kerala. There was the involvement of PFI, and there has been alleged terror links of Popular Front of India, and not just PFI but other affiliated organizations of PFI, including Campus Front of India, which is its student wing that has been called unlawful by the government, and they have been banned for 5 years. There have been various demands for the and the chorus for the ban on the
getting more reactions on this. दिनेश शर्मा जी हमारे साथ फोन लाइन पर जुड़ रहे हैं. सर, फाइनली अगर सरकार की बात करें तो उन्होंने पीएफआई पे बैन लगा दिया है. सर,
देखिए, बहुत बड़ा एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय माननीय गृह मंत्री जी ने जम्मू कश्मीर में जब 35A और धारा 370 ऐसा निर्णय लिया था, उसके बाद लगने लगा था कि अब सरदार पटेल और माननीय लालकृष्ण आडवाणी ऐसा दृढ़ता पूर्वक निर्णय लेने वाले गृह मंत्री हमारे पास में हैं, और आज जो उन्होंने निर्णय लिया है ये एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय है. और इसको ऐतिहासिक निर्णय हम इसलिए कहेंगे कि कर्नाटका में अभी हिजाब को लेकर बहुत बड़ा हिंसात्मक वातावरण बना. सीए को लेकर पूरे देश में एक हिंसात्मक वातावरण बना. अभी कुछ लोगों के बयानों को लेकर सर तन से जुदा ऐसे हिंसात्मक जो कहने चाहिए मूवमेंट हुए, जुलूस निकले, कुछ जगहों पर और कुछ जगहों पर सर तन से अलग करने का एक हिंसात्मक रूप भी देखने को आया। हर जगह इस बात की चर्चा आई कि कहीं ना कहीं प्रत्यक्ष और अप्रत्यक्ष रूप में धन का, विदेशी धनों का भी और ये एक राष्ट्र विरोधी गतिविधियों में संलग्न लोगों के धनों का इसमें इस्तेमाल हुआ है और पीएफआई ऐसे संगठन उसको संचालित कर रहा है। पूरे देश में इसके खिलाफ काफी समय से जो वातावरण था उसमें सबूत गृह मंत्रालय ने एकत्र किए। आज भी अगर आप देखें तो 80 लोग कर्नाटका में गिरफ्तार हुए थे और 57 लोग उत्तर प्रदेश में गिरफ्तार हुए थे। इनके पास भारी मात्रा में इनके सबूत मिले हैं और कई कई जगह इनके विदेशों से कनेक्शन भी मिले हैं। जो भारत में ऐसे देश में जो एकता और समन्वय का वातावरण बना है उसको नष्ट करने का काम करना चाहते थे, तो ऐसी ताकतों को नाबूद करना ये भारतवर्ष में बहुत जरूरी था। मैं समझता हूं कि प्रतिबंध लगाना ये एक बहुत बड़ा ऐतिहासिक निर्णय है और पीएफआई ऐसे संगठन कोई भारत में वजूद ना रहे, ये जरूरी है और ये स्वागत योग्य कदम है।
दिनेश शर्मा जी, आप ऑपोजिशन के बारे में क्या कहेंगे? ऑपोजिशन ये कह रही है कि अभी बैन तो कर दिया है लेकिन इनके खिलाफ जो चार्जेस हैं वो क्या सेंटर प्रूव कर पाएगी? वो ऐसे सवाल उठा रहे हैं।
कई जगह तो प्रूव हो चुका है, कई जगह पकड़े गए हैं और कई लोगों के बयान आए हैं कि आरएसएस के नेताओं की हत्या करना है, बीजेपी के बड़े नेताओं की हत्या करना है, राष्ट्रवादी लोगों के बड़े बड़े लोगों के संतों के बारे में, उनके बारे में ऐसे लोगों के आतंकवादियों के जो पकड़े गए हैं उनके बयान आए हैं। कई जगह अभी आप इससे बड़ा सबूत क्या हो सकता है, सरतन से जुदा ऐसी घटनाएं राजस्थान में हो चुकी हैं। हैदराबाद में इस प्रकार के हिंसात्मक आंदोलन शुरू हुए हैं। कई कई जगह बंगाल में आप देखो तो कई कई जगह लोगों के मकानों को फूंक दिया गया, जिंदा लोगों को जला दिया गया। उसके पीछे किसकी गतिविधियां हैं? कोई कहता बांग्लादेश से संबंधित, कोई कहता पाकिस्तान से संबंधित। अरे हिंदुस्तान में संचालित करना कौन है? उसका एक सूत्रधार का काम।
बिल्कुल सर, क्योंकि ऑपोजिशन बार बार यही सवाल उठा रहे थे कि इतनी देर क्यों लग गई बैन लगाने में।
ऐसा शब्द बोलने वाले मानसिक रोग से ग्रसित हैं, उनमें तुष्टीकरण का मानसिक रोग हो गया है और तुष्टीकरण और वोट बैंक की राजनीति करने वाले ये मानसिक रोगी इस देश को मैं समझता हूं कि गर्त में ले जाने का जो सपना देख रहे थे वो मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में पूरा नहीं होने वाला है।
चलिए दिनेश शर्मा जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। तो आप सीधे तौर पे वेलकम कर रहे हैं कि एक निर्णायक फैसला लिया गया सरकार की तरफ से। दिस इज द PFI दैट हैज बीन बैंड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट।